the Secretary General and the President of the European Commission to come to the stage. Maybe you can stand over here and allow the photographers.
Well, no.
Now it is your one. Yeah. So, and now?
Photo or video?
But you have a whole speech there.
I think,
the lectern is yours.
So I will go?
You will go. And
Mr. President, can I invite you to address the room?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we go off again.
Thank you. That's all. Thank you so much for being here. Please.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you for invitation. Thank you again, Mark. Thank you, Ursula, Minister, and all the participants. And thanks to Netherlands for hosting us. Thank you so much. So, dear friends, thank you all of your attention to Ukraine and to our joint defense capabilities. The key word here is, I think, is joint. We all understand that the source of this war and the long-term threat to the European way of life is Russia. But in reality, we are not just facing Russia alone. We are facing a network of state and non-state actors that are serving the cause of aggression. This network includes Russia, North Korea, the current regime in Iran, Chinese companies, and many schemes across the world that help produce weapons and carry out operations against our country, our people, and our Europe. Only together can we counter this. And the best way to do it is to hit the core of this aggression hard and to break every link that connects Russia with its accomplices. That's why our priorities are clear. Our joint defense production and real restrictions on cooperation with Russia through sanctions and other restrictive measures. Thank you to everyone who's helping us with this. Now the key points for today about defense production. First, investment and technology. Our defense production potential has surpassed $35 billion. This includes nearly 1,000 types of products, from artillery and traditional armed vehicles to advanced drones of, by the way, of all types and missiles. But around 40% of this potential lacks proper funding. It's true. That's a problem. For example, we can produce over 8 million drones of different types each year, but the financing allows for far fewer. At the same time, Russia is using not only its oil revenues for defense, but also the resources of regimes like North Korea and Iran, and Russia's corrupt connections in other countries. So our united solidarity is the best answer to Russia's war network. And we are open to various forms of cooperation in the defense sector, including sharing our expertise and achievements with those who help the most. And we must lead in the drone race, both in strike drones and interceptors, and keep moving forward in producing traditional weapons, taking into account all the lessons learned in this long war. Please increase your investments in Ukraine in joint weapons production. And all the weapons we produce become part of a new, stronger European defense and security system. In this context, we welcome the European initiative, Security Action for Europe, which includes plans to provide up to 150 billion euro to develop the defense industry. And we call for this program to also be actively used as an extra source of support for our shared security. And it's important to keep in mind that Ukraine is an equal partner to this program, meaning that ensuring security is our common cause. Second, long-term resilience of our countries. There are no signs that Putin wants to stop this war. Russia rejects all peace proposals, including those from the United States of America. Putin only thinks about war. That's a fact. Maybe he connects his own political survival with his ability to keep killing. So long as he kills, he lives. And our intelligence confirmed this. Russia is even planning new military operations on NATO territory, meaning your countries, and this war is now on in Ukraine, and it's to get prepared, well, to be ready. No doubt we must stop Putin now and in Ukraine, but we have to understand that his objectives reach beyond Ukraine. European countries need to increase defense spending. We believe that 5% of GDP is the right level. A united Europe can create a defense capability that will destroy Russia's illusion that war with Europe could bring it anything. To kill that illusion faster, we must take away Russia's ability to continue this war against Ukraine with impunity. It's better to hold Russia back where it's already stuck. And I thank every country, and I thank every leader who has already decided to commit part of their national defense spending to supporting Ukraine. If every European country commits at least 0.25% of its GDP for this, and we are thankful to those countries who commit more, like Netherlands, Norway, Sweden, and such big commitment like from Germany. It's something quite reasonable. The chances for peace in Europe will grow. Third, please make sure your countries and your companies are not helping Russia or its bodies in any way. This is crucial, really. And there is no significant Russian weapon today that is produced without components, without equipment or materials from other countries, sadly, including some from Europe and NATO. Yes, of course. And this must stop. Such components can be found in every Russian missile, in most of their drones, and in military vehicles. And it's not just China. Also, Taiwan and some of these parts come from the European countries and from the United States, and every single component or machine tool delivered to Russia's defense sector helps prolong the war and is a crime against peace. Every scheme that helps them build Shahed drones or any other tools of killing is not just aiding a war against us, it's a threat to you and to the way of life that millions in our countries value deeply. Please, let's make sure that our defense potential and the potential of our partners works for our peace, not for Russia's madness. Thank you.
Yes. So, good afternoon. It's so good to have this opportunity, Volodymyr, to sit down with the EU leadership and NATO to discuss with you. Again, what we are seeing at this moment is that European and Canadian partners, they are now basically ramping up the support for Ukraine. Already over 35 billion euros pledged this year. That's even before we reach half year on the 1st of July, and last year it was for the full year a little bit over 50 billion. So we can safely assume that the total amount for 2025 will be higher than in 2024. This shows you that the support for Ukraine is ongoing. Tomorrow we will have a summit with NATO leaders, and I can also safely predict that the support for Ukraine going forward, closely linked to the defense spending of NATO countries, will be there, and will also make sure that, of course we hope the war will end soon, but if it takes more time, that you have to support in terms of military capabilities, but also when the peace comes or a long-term ceasefire, that you are so strong that Vladimir Putin will never ever again try to capture 1 square mile/kilometer of Ukraine. And what we will today is coordinate closely between the EU and NATO to make sure that when it comes to all the practical support, we do the max. So again, thank you for being here, and to the colleagues from the European Commission, European Council, really an honor to host you all here in this building. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Mark. Again, thank you for your invitation, your leadership, and Osman Pullman. Thank you very much, dear Ursula, dear Antonio. So such a great opportunity to be in NATO summit in Netherlands, and for us, what is the most important, that the unity of NATO countries and all Europe and European Union, and you see this unity around Ukraine. I think this is the most important thing. After this is always the way to strengthen Ukraine, to give us strong support, to help our people and families who are abroad to live, and to have help to our Ukrainians who are in Ukraine. And big unity. Thanks for air defense, additional military packages, and thank you that you stay with us. Not just stay strong. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mark, for gathering us here today, Ursula and I, with Volodymyr. Russia's invasion of Ukraine remains a major threat for global peace in the world, because this invasion is undermining the international rules-based order, because Russia is an intercontinental country threatening Europe, but also the Pacific region, and because Russia is acting in alliance with countries like North Korea or Iran. Secondly, just and lasting peace in Ukraine is urgent. And I'm deeply disappointed that Russia is not engaging with the efforts for President Trump to achieve a just and lasting peace. While President Zelensky have already agreed on unconditional ceasefire, Russia not only doesn't agree, but even are increasing the intensity of their aggression to Ukraine. From our part, we will continue to give full support to Ukraine and to continue to put pressure on Russia through sanctions. And the 18th package of sanctions is underway. Finally, we are looking forward for our common future as Ukraine, entire member of the European Union. I'm very happy with the recent assessment of the European Commission about your impressive work to deliver on reforms in such difficult situations, and for sure we are reached the conditions to move forward the ongoing negotiation process to accession to the European Union.
Thank you, Anton.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I can add, my dear friend Volodymyr, you're here among friends. And we stand by Ukraine from the very first day on, and you can count on us also for the future. We have just discussed how important it is for Ukraine to invest in the extraordinary, agile and innovative Ukrainian defence industry. Therefore, we have designed a funding program of 150 billion euros. We call it SAFE, where member states, but also Ukraine and other partners, can take these loans to invest in the Ukraine defence industry, which has shown its ability to innovate, to produce fast and reliably at scale. We can learn a lot from you, what that is concerned, but in this way we can support you also for the survival of Ukraine. Secondly, of course, there's constant financial support to Ukraine because we know you're fighting a war that is also protecting our values and our principles. And thirdly, indeed, we have to put pressure on President Putin that he comes to the negotiation table and that he's engaging seriously in negotiations for a just and lasting peace. Therefore, the 18th sanctions package is a biting one, is a hard one. I know that our G7 friends will follow suit with their sanctions. So all this shows you are among friends. You can count on us. We stand by your side.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Zelensky.